Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the season opener for the SCSRA Dev Sports Cards National Series. Tonight for the season opener, we will have these Xfinity cars taking on Daytona International Speedway, which is home to the real-life Xfinity Series' season opener as well. And this is going to be an awesome race. Always the season opener is a fun one to watch because we're going to have a lot of new drivers that we didn't have last year. We're going to have a lot of the veterans that were here last season. So this should be fun to see, everybody getting used to racing with each other. I know there was a chance yesterday to get used to racing with each other. We saw the SCSRA Fortuna Iron Truck Series had its season opener as well, and the results from that, we saw Eddie Morris ended up picking up the win. Dave Wright took second, and Todd Mays, he ended up finishing third. So the top three definitely is full of some of the best super speedway racers that are going to be out on track tonight. Right now in practice, we see Dylan Redding, who we are watching right now, and he just got into an incident with his teammate Devin Bucciano. Anyway, Dylan Redding, he is on the top of the board with a 47.10. In second, it's Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. He ran a 47.13, which will put him 300ths behind Dylan. Third is Stephen Black. He had a 47.23. Fourth is Devin Bucciano, 47.26. Fifth is Cody Moore with a 47.27. Now we do want to thank the title sponsor. As you can see, this is the Dev Sports Cards National Series, and we want to thank Dev's Sports Cards for stepping up and sponsoring the series. Now, Dev Sports Cards was established in 2013 by SCSRA driver and Neon Racing team owner Devin Bucciano. Dev Sports Cards specializes in all your sports cards and gaming cards needs, from football, baseball, and basketball cards to Pokemon. Dev Sports Cards sells it all. On their eBay store, you can find a wide variety of items from high-end sports cards to their weekly 99-cent starting bid 7-day auctions. Don't have time to sell your own cards? Reach out to Devin and ask about his consignment services. Simply package them up, ship them out, and Devin will get them listed, sold, and then the best part is you get paid. Dev Sports Cards can be found on eBay, and they have over 4,000 positive reviews. You can also find them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Dev Sports Cards is a proud sponsor of the SCSRA Series in Intensity Broadcasting. Now qualifying is underway. Drivers will get 2 laps to try to set their best possible lap time. Most of the time, that second lap time is going to be faster. You'll see that a lot of drivers on that first lap are going to be running from all the way against the wall to that first little dash mark below the wall, and that is an effort to find the longest way around the track. And if you can find that longest way around the track, it will give the car more time to get the motor to the highest RPMs possible. So when you come to that second lap, the motor will be the best it can be, and it will be up to speed. There we see Josh Hall doing exactly what I said. He's got those left side tires on those white dashes, and he's trying to build up speed for that second lap. Definitely have to watch out for those intensity drivers. All of them are very, very good at super speedways. Josh, Dave, Devin, Josh, Dave, Eddie, Logan, all of them very, very good at these super speedways. Logan actually won the season opener last season in the SCSRA Xfinity Series, so he is looking to repeat that and win, to get 2 in a row for the season openers for the SCSRA National Series. There's Devin heading on to the front stretch to begin his first lap. There you see his accolades. He's got 6 career SCSRA wins, 3 Xfinity, and 3 trucks. And he actually won the SCSRA Truck Series Championship. We see a lot of drivers getting onto the board right now. Let me change it over to the tower. Nick Mather is running on the top of the board with a 50.51. Second is Richard Knight with a 50.91, so that'll put him about 4 tenths behind Mather. And third is Brian Nudie. He has a 51.02. That will put him 5 tenths behind Nick Mather. Now, if you watched us with the SCSRA Xfinity Series last season, then you'll notice that we have a lot of new faces. Let's see, let's got Richard Knight, Jeffrey Belk, Eli Raposa, David Hartney, all of them new faces here in the SCSRA National Series. So I know that during the offseason, SCSRA had some recruitment races, and it looks like they've recruited a lot of drivers. So this should be awesome. We're going to have a great field of Xfinity cars. We see Devin, he gets to the top of the board with a 50.45. Nudie improves on his second lap with a 50.46, and Mather improves on his second lap as well with a 50.47. Right now, the top 3 is all separated by 1/100th of a second. Mick Olofsson says, "Hey, Atman, are you guys not on Twitch anymore?" We actually are on Twitch still, but we have something going on where we are actually, instead of starting in Intensity Broadcasting 2, our Twitch channel has now kind of become our Intensity Broadcasting 2. So on Thursdays now, we actually broadcast 2 different leagues at the exact same time. We broadcast the Thunderstruck Super Late Model Series on Facebook and YouTube, and at the same time, we broadcast the Short Track Super League on Twitch. So instead of starting in Intensity Broadcasting 2, the Twitch has just kind of become our Intensity Broadcasting 2. So now on the nights that we're not doing double headers, we don't broadcast on Twitch anymore. But we had never advertised that or anything, so I understand it would be confusing. We see Colin Willems to the top of the board now with a 50.40. I know the bot squad is very happy about that. Kyle Mays now in second with a 50.41. He's a 100th behind Colin. And then third is Jeffrey Belk, a new face in the National Series. He ran a 50.44. Then we see Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. He ends up besting that with a 50.44 as well. It ended up coming down to the thousandths of a second. But we see Michael, he is able to get the third. We got the bot squad showing up. Cassie Willems says, "Let's go, Colin and Mather." We see Colin Willems right now on the top of the board with a 50.41. And then let's see, Nick, he is in the top 10 right now with a 50.47. Speaking of the top 10, speaking of the top 13, the top 13 is all separated by less than a tenth. That is absolutely incredible. That just shows how tight the racing is going to be tonight. See, Mick Olofsson says, "Cody, Colin, and Will, let's go, boys." Oh, and look at this. Before I talk about where everybody is at in that list, we see Logan Hagerman is going to go to the top of the board with a 50.39. That'll put him 100th faster than Colin Willems. Logan is the defending season opener winner here in the SCSRA National Series. So we will see if he can defend that title. So we'll see. Right now, for those YXU drivers, Colin Willems, he is sitting in second on the board right now. And Cody, he is 16th. and Will is 19th. So you're definitely going to see all of the YXU racing drivers try to get together on track. And there you see in Will Witt's driver information, Will Witt is actually going to be a dad. His wife just announced that she's pregnant, so congratulations to Will Witt on becoming a dad. Hopefully that will give him some good luck here tonight. See Brent Burgess showing up on Facebook. He says, Atlee, thanks for tuning in to watch the stream, Brent. This should be a fun race for sure. It's always fun here at these super speedways. Now there's a driver to watch out on track right now. Eddie Morris in that 8 machine. He is right now on his second lap. He's definitely got a chance to win here. He won last night in the SCSRA Truck Series. Who says he can't do it again? And he is always just so good at these super speedways. Another driver to watch out for, Derek Chaput in the 37 machine. He is just completing his first lap time. And we see Eddie Morris. I told you he is going to be a driver to watch out for. He goes to the top of the board with a 50.37. That will put him 200ths faster than Logan Hagerman. That'll put him on the top of the board. Eddie Morris looking to try to get 2 in a row for the SCSRA series is. Now, I do want to note that Brian Nudi has said that whoever has the highest average finish between last night and tonight and whoever has the lowest average finish between last night and tonight will both get $5. So if Eddie Morris wins, he won last night, and if he wins tonight, he will definitely pick up that $5. And there you go. Everybody who is going to qualify has turned a lap. It's looking like we're going to have 27 cars on track tonight. That is a big, big field. I think it's going to make for some awesome racing as well. Like I said, we have a lot of, the veterans of this league, and then we have a lot of new drivers as well. So this is going to be kind of the first race in these Xfinity cars with everybody together, and it'll kind of be a learning experience for everybody. Everybody's, getting used to everybody's driving style and that kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes. But here's a look at the starting lineup. Starting on the pole with a 50.369, it is the 8 of Eddie Morris. Outside of him, from Canada with Intensity Racing Team, it's the 7 of Logan Hagerman. Third is YXU Racing's Colin Willems in the 17. Fourth, it's Kyle Mays, member of the Mays Mafia in that 55. Rounding out your top 5, it's Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence in the 47. 6, it's Cyclone Racing's Jeffrey Belk in the 54. 7th is Intensity Racing Team's Dave Wright in the 84. 8th is Neon Racing's Devin Butchino in the 68. 9th, we have Stephen Black in that 18 Premier Racing Setups machine. And then rounding out your top 10, it's Brian Nudi with YXU Racing. 11th is Nick Mather. 12th is Todd Mays, also a member of the Mays Mafia. 13th is Eli Raposa in the 46. 14th is Cyclone Racing and admin Sylvan Segoin, and 15th is Mark Shavers. 16th is Derek Chaput in the 37 Neon Racing machine. 17th is Bobby Mays. 18th is another Neon Racing driver, Dylan Redding. He's going to be starting right behind his teammate. 19th is Cody Moore in the 52, and then rounding out your top 20 with DBC Sim Racing, it's the 43 of David Hartney. 21st is Josh Hall. 22nd is Michael White. Running in 23rd is YXU Racing's Will Witt. 24th is Blake Hensley. See, 25th is Neon Racing's Brian Merle Jr. 26th is 2 pedals, 1 clutches, Michael Proval. And then last but not least, it's the 15 of Richard Knight. So here we go. We are getting set for the feature event. Eddie Moore starting on the pole. Logan Hagerman starting outside of him. Let's look at the chat one last time before we go green. See, Michael Lawrence says, racing with pneumonia. Uh-oh. Wish you good luck, Michael, with that, of course. You know, it might be like Michael Jordan's flu game. That outcome was pretty good. He won the championship, so maybe you'll win the race here tonight at Daytona. But hope you feel better, Michael. Pneumonia is the worst. I had it back in 2018, and that was a miserable 2 months. Dylan Rudding says, let's go 23, the best in the world. That's right. You got to watch out for the best in the world, number 23, Dylan Redding, rocking those blue cars. I really love those. I like the neon racing cars. They are pretty snazzy. So here we go. 60 laps of racing action is getting ready to go underway. And we are waiting for that pace car to make the hard left turn onto pit road. Pace car is in. And green flag is out here at Daytona International Speedway. And now 60 laps of racing is underway. There we see Eddie Morris taking off. He's got Logan Hagerman right outside of him. The drafting partners are all getting hooked up right now. 54 of Jeffrey Belk is pushing Hagerman. And Colin Willems is pushing Eddie Morris. We might see Logan Hagerman and Morris try to get hooked up with each other. Both of them are teammates. And they are side by side heading into 3 and 4 still. Jeffrey Belt trying to give Hagerman a good push on that outside lane. And then behind them looks like it's Devin Bucciano. We see that bottom is starting to get almost clear of that high side. And already we're seeing a lot of drivers making moves, working their way up, moving around. And we are only 2 laps through this thing. These drivers are hitting speeds above the 200 miles per hour. One driver last time by hit 199. So, I mean, with the fact that you're going that fast, if something happens, there's really not a ton of time to react. We see Willems peeking outside, trying to figure something out. I know right now this is kind of the stage of the race where all the teammates are trying to get grouped up with each other. And there are a lot of teams here in the SCSRA. We got Intensity Racing Team, YXU Racing. Let's see, what are all the teams? So the teams tonight, we have Maze Mafia, DBC Racing, Intensity Racing Team, 2 pedals, 1 clutch, Neon Racing, Cyclone Racing, and YXU Racing. Those are the teams for tonight's event. So all the teammates are just trying to find each other on track and get hooked up with each other. Because it's always helpful to, and oh, wow, so looks like there was a group of cars that have split off from the rest of the field. So we see it's Eddie Morris to Michael White. They are all up. Looks like Michael White lost the draft. But Eddie Morris to Mark Shavers. They're all up there in that little group. And then we have Richard Knight and the rest of the drivers are like 7 seconds behind. I am not sure what happened and made 17th through 27th fall behind. We look back to the front. Looks like that high line has some momentum. Jeffrey Belk giving Logan Hagerman a good push. Eddie Morris and Colin Willems trying to come back on the bottom. They're going back and forth, back and forth. Both lanes looking very, very strong right now. Not a lot of holes in either. We see Logan Hagerman, he gets a big run heading into turns 3 and 4. They're side by side, but we see Eddie Morris comes back on the bottom. Here at these super speedways, a lot of times there's momentum swings, or sometimes I like to call them mood swings, where at one point that bottom lane is just looking strong. It's looking like it's going to run away from the rest of the field. But then at high side, something clicks up there and they start chugging along and they're able to get by that inside lane. So you really have to find that momentum. You have to be at it when it happens. If we stay green for a long time, there will be green flag pit stops. So it's going to be interesting if we do have green flag pit stops to see all the strategy come into play. Here comes Logan Hagerman coming back on that outside. Getting a good push from Jeffrey Belk. Besides last night, I believe that this is the first time that Hagerman and Belk have raced with each other in a league race. Belk, one of the new drivers that showed up for this season. There you go. We see 3 other packs behind them trying to catch back up. We got Bobby Mays, Will Witt, Cody Moore running with each other, Provolt, Blake Hensley running with each other. Then we have this big pack right here. Everybody all trying to catch up to each other. We look back to the front here, still side by side between Logan Hagerman and Eddie Morris. Belk continues to give Logan Hagerman a great push on that outside lane. Looks like they're coming up on a lap car. That's Dylan Redding. Not sure what happened to him, but he goes all the way to the bottom. Everybody goes high and avoids him. So that's a good job for Dylan Redding for keeping it clean. We see right now, Michael Provolt has just ran the fastest lap time of the race for anybody with a 47.13. And that's because he is catching that draft from this group of 3 ahead of him. And that's really just giving that 95 a ton of momentum. When you start sucking up to somebody, that is going to win. That is when you're going to get those scorching hot lap times. We see Eddie Morris and his drafting partner Colin Willems both have just ran their fastest lap times of the race for their personal bests. And we are now 10 laps through this thing as we cross the line this time by. Right now, for these 10 laps, the bottom and the top. Oh! We see Logan Hagerman, Jeffrey Belk getting a good run. And Belk is able to push Logan Hagerman ahead to the lead. He drops down to the bottom ahead of Eddie Morris. Logan Hagerman is your new leader. So that is going to mean that Jeffrey Belk is the leader of that high side. Devin Bucciano is pushing him. And then behind Devin, it's Brian Nudie. And one thing that you're going to want to be watching for is Eddie Morris. I know Eddie, he is hooked up with his teammate right now, but say that bottom gets a good run and is able to get clear of that high side and there's room for Eddie to move up. And then Eddie notices that high side is coming really, really quickly. It's getting a great run. What Eddie can do is he can pop up to that outside and catch that big run, and that high side will have no choice but to push Eddie back out to the front. So be watching out for that. I know one of the drivers out on track tonight, Josh Hall, he says that super speedway racing is a lot like a game of chess. It takes a lot of strategy. You really need to think things out, and you don't really have to think 2 moves ahead. Josh Hall, definitely one of the smartest super speedway racers. Fortunately, he is not having a very good race. He is currently sitting in 26th, which is second to last. But looks like he does have a drafting partner, Richard Knight. These two are going to try to catch up to somebody. They are hoping that a caution comes out so they can catch back up to the field, or they might just be waiting until green flag pit stops, and they might have some strategy to get them back up with the field. And looks like while we were looking at that, Jeffrey Belk was able to get a good run on that outside lane, and he is now to the first place spot. He's getting pushed from Logan Hagerman, so that now means that Devin Bucciano is the leader of the high side. And then we have 2 very, very fast drivers behind him, Brian Nudie and Todd Mays. Todd Mays, he's a very, very good super speedway racer. Definitely watch out for him tonight. Another driver who he really isn't up front right now, but you're definitely going to watch out for him, is that 84 car of Dave Wright. He is currently running on that bottom behind Michael Lawrence, and he really isn't up front, but if he can get a good run, he can make some quick moves and get up there. He's just waiting for the right moment right now. Looks like Josh Hall and Richard Knight are going down a lap. I don't know what happened to either of them. We see Logan Hagerman goes to the outside lane, and he now catches the momentum from Devin Bucciano. That's what I'm saying. If you're the second car on the bottom, it's always a good idea to, if you're able to get ahead of that high side, jump up there, and that move paid off. Logan, Devin, and looks like Devin, he goes down, and he hangs Logan out to dry, and he keeps him on the outside. Now Devin was able to get to the lead. I'll tell you what, that was a very, very good move right there by Devin. See, Austin Blaylock on Facebook says Eddie Morse is going to bring it home for the win. Eddie is definitely one of the drivers to watch. He's led a couple laps tonight. He is up front. He's the third car on that bottom lane right now. He's got a chance to make a move here any second. Definitely watch out for him. He's going to be one to watch. We do see Richard Knight is on pit road right now. Looks like it was a scheduled pit stop. He takes some tires, he takes some fuel, and he is off. So he might be running some strategy that the other drivers don't necessarily know about. But I do think, Knight he was a lap down, and the only way that he can really get back onto the lead lap is some sort of strategy, some sort of pit strategy. So we'll see if it'll pay off for him. See Dylan Redding also coming in. I don't know, Dylan Redding, he's had a rough race. He's now 2 laps down. So it'll really be hard to get back on the lead lap. We take a look back to the front. Devin, he is still running up front. He's got Jeffrey Belt pushing him on that high side. It's Brian Nudie, Logan Hagerman, and Todd Mays. Right now, that bottom looking very, very fast right now. Looks like Jeffrey Belk and Devin Bucciano have it good right now. Oh, we did see Belk blink out a little bit there. If that keeps happening, that could be dangerous for the rest of the drivers. I mean, it's not bad if it's like a mile and a half or any intermediate track, but at a super speedway, blinking can be dangerous. We see Logan Hagerman, Brian Newty getting a great run, and we see Hagerman able to drop down to the bottom, and he takes the lead. We see Brian Newty now, the leader of the high side. He's in first. He's got Todd Mays behind him, and Sylvan's going behind him. See Sylvan running that Starlight Coke scheme. I want to do a little chat engagement. If anybody tried Starlight Coke, let me know what y'all thought of it. I really, really liked it. I thought that it had an interesting flavor. It was very, very unique, and I think that Coke could maybe like take a couple of the criticisms from people and maybe just adjust the recipe a little bit and make it like a permanent drink, because I really liked it. It was like a mix of like gingerbread and cotton candy and buttered popcorn. We see that bottom is really starting to run away from the rest of the field. That high side starting to fizzle out. There's really only 4 cars up there. And the key here in these super speedway races is the more cars in a lane, the better it is. And right now, that is not the case for that high side. Nick Olafson says, I liked it. I agree. I liked it. I know some people didn't like it, but I liked it. Here comes that outside lane. Looks like 2 Neon Racing teammates have gotten hooked up with each other. Or not Neon, YXU Racing teammates have gotten hooked up with each other. And that is... And there we see Devin Butchino, who is that second car in the bottom. He goes up to the high side as well. So it looks like those 3 cars up there now. It's Devin Butchino, Colin Willems, and Brian Newty. We see Devin, he's getting a great run on the backstretch. Colin Willems giving him a great push, and he is able to get clear. He should be able to drop to the bottom now. He should be able to. Yes, he does. We see Hagerman getting to his back bumper a little bit there. And there we go. We see Devin up to the front now. And we see Hagerman doing a crossover type move, and he goes up to the high side, and he is now hooked up with Colin Willems, who helped push Devin to the front. Nick Olafson says Will Witt will be up there before the end. I definitely agree with that. Will Witt, always one to watch here at these super speedways. The only problem is he is currently sitting in 21st, and he is 10 seconds behind the leaders, just kind of running with his own little pack right now. So hopefully, right now, this little pack is kind of hoping for either a caution, or they're going to need to come up with some good pit strategy that will get them back out to the front. We see Hagerman getting a great run on that outside, him and Colin Willems, and he pushes him to the lead. Looks like your leaders are coming up on some lap traffic. Looks like that's Josh Hall. Josh's nightmare night continues. I don't know what happened to him. There was a whole group of drivers that just lost the rest of the field, and Josh was one of them, and then he just went a lap down, and now he's just gone another lap down. It's been a rough race for Josh. And I know right now Josh is feeling like, man, I'm 2 laps down. Is it worth even going on anymore? I mean, it's just one of those situations where it's like, man, all hope is lost. But here at Daytona, anything can happen, and just like that, Josh Hall could be back on the lead lap competing for a win. That's just how crazy the racing is here at these super speedways. We see right now, YXU racing drivers are hooked up Brian Nudie and Colin Willems. They're trying to get up there to the front. And we see on the bottom, Butchino and Logan Hagerman are hooked up. And so far, we're coming to 25 laps completed. We have not had a single caution. With 27 cars, some of them new. A lot of these drivers not used to racing with each other. That is very, 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 very impressive. Shows just how talented these SCS race drivers are. Looks like Devin goes to the outside, and he catches that momentum from Colin, and he gets back ahead of Logan Hagerman, and I bet you we've seen it. It's almost guaranteed that it's going to happen. If Hagerman on the bottom can get clear of Willems, he is going to jump up to that outside. Oh, there we go. I don't know what in the world happened. I think it's working now. Sorry about that. Thanks for letting me know, Cassie. Anyway, so we saw pretty much the whole field head on to pit road. Devin Bucchino won the race off. Second was Brian Newty. We see Dave Wright up into the top 3 now. Colin Willems is in 4th. Stephen Black is in 5th. And we see, I believe, either Josh Hall or Richard Knight will be getting their lap back, if they didn't already. Looks like we see Dave Wright, Colin Willems, everybody going back in again. While Devin and Brian, they stay out. Let's pull in one of our Intensity Racing Team drivers for a little in-race interview. Dave, this is Atlee in the Intensity Broadcasting booth. Do you have a copy? Dave, this is Atlee in the Intensity Broadcasting booth. Do you have a copy? Looks like I'm having issues with Discord. So we are getting ready to go back green here. Brian Newty restarting on the bottom, or restarting on the top. Devin Bucchino restarting on the bottom. Getting excited here for this restart. Pace car is in. And green flag is back out here at Daytona International Speedway. There we see Devin Bucchino taking off, and he gets a great run. He's got a big gap between him and the rest of the field, but that is going to maybe be a curse because that'll give the field a lot of time to get a good run, get some good momentum to get by him. And looks like Michael White has been able to get up to the back bumper of Devin Bucchino. The two are hooked up. We see Nick Mather, Colin Willems, they are hooked up on that high side. And we see Brian Newty is he's getting a push from, and we just saw a wreck there. Will that bring out a caution? Yes, it does. Second caution of the night is out. And we will look here at the wreckage replay to see exactly what happened. That did not look like a good one there. All right, here's a look at what happened. All right, so we see Michael White getting a bit squirrely heading into 3 and 4, and that pushes him out straight in front of Eli Raposa. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence has nowhere to go. Todd Mays gets involved. That is definitely unfortunate for everybody involved there. But we are going to go back under caution for the second time. Make sure to take this time while we're under a break to visit our merchandise store in first we got to watch this race on pit road here between, looks like Eli Raposa, Stephen Black, Jeffrey Belk, Michael White, Dave Wright, Todd Mays, Brian Merle Jr., Kyle Mays, Blake Hensley, Eddie Morris, Michael Provolt, Logan Hagerman, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. All of them coming in. This is the battle for 11th place. And there we see Stephen Black wins the race off pit road. Then it's Jeffrey Belk. Then it's Eli Raposa. Then it's Dave Wright. Then it's Blake Hensley. Anyway, like I said, make sure to go and visit our merchandise store, which is intensitybroadcasting.com. There you can find merch from your favorite broadcaster, your favorite driver, and all of your favorite leagues. We've got shirts on there. We've got hats, mouse pads, mugs, stickers, and so much more. And also make sure to go check out the Thunderstruck, or not the Thunderstruck, the SCSRA collection. There you can pick up an SCSRA bubble-free sticker, which comes in sizes 3x3, 4x4, and 5.5 by 5.5. You can also pick up an SCSRA photo paper poster. They come in sizes 10x10, 12x12, 12x16, 12x18, 14x14, 16x18, 16x20, 18x18, and 8x10. You can also pick yourself up an SCSRA t-shirt, and those t-shirts, they come in 5 different colors: black, navy, red, sport gray, and white, and they come in sizes from small to 5XL. It's 100% cotton, and I have one of them that's made by the same material. It's not the SCSRA shirt, but it's made from the same material, and it feels very, very soft, very, very comfortable. You definitely want to pick one up for yourself. The SCSRA shirts and any of the shirts on Intensity Broadcasting are great gifts for birthdays or Christmas or anything like that. If you have an Intensity Broadcasting fan in your life, then that's definitely an awesome gift to get them for, birthdays or Christmas or anything like that. So we are getting ready to go back green here. Brian Nudie restarting on the bottom. Nick Mather restarting on the top behind them. It's Devin Bucciano and Colin Willems. And Colin, he is going to be restarting directly behind his YXU teammate, Nick Mather. I know they're probably in the same voice channel right now, discussing everything, what moves to make, and we'll see if these two can get hooked up and go to the front. Pace car is in. And green flag is back out here at Daytona International Speedway. There we see Brian Nudie taking off, and he is able to get clear of Nick Mather. And here we see Devin Butchin. Looks like we see Brian Nudie going up to the high side, and him and his other two YXU teammates, Nick Mather and Colin Willems, those three, they get hooked up. And that's going to just leave Devin Bucciano all alone on that bottom. Surprisingly, he is holding his own and running right with those three. We see here comes another YXU Racing driver, Cody Moore. He goes to the outside. And there we go. We see those three drop down to the bottom. They bring Cody Moore with them. And with these four grouped up with each other, it is going to be very, very hard to get by them. All four of these drivers are teammates. All four of them know what they're doing. They're great super speedway racers. And they're all going to be working together really, really well. And as I say that, we see two of them split off. That's Colin Willems and Cody Moore. Those two go up to that high side and join the 43 of David Hartney up there. We see Corley Mather on Facebook says, let's go Nick and Colin. Both of them in the top 3 right now. Both of them in contention for the win. Both of them right there up front. And at this time, we are actually going to turn up the volume and pump up the intensity. Here you will get to see the sights and hear the sounds of the racetrack. Here we go. There you go. That is Pump Up the Intensity. Hopefully you enjoyed us turning up the volume. We take a look back now to the racing action, and it's still pretty much the same as it was when we went to Pump Up the Intensity. We see Brian Nudie and Nick Mather, both of them grouped up, drafting with each other on the bottom. Then we got Colin Willems and Cody Moore drafting with each other on the top. And we got 22 laps to go in this event. We do want to one more time thank the series sponsor Dev's Sports Cards for sponsoring the national series. Dev's Sports Cards was established in 2013 by SCSRA driver and Neon Racing team owner Devin Buccinell. Dev Sports Cards specializes in all your sports cards and gaming cards needs, from football and baseball and basketball cards to Pokemon. Dev Sports Cards sells it all. On their eBay store, you can find a wide variety of items, from high-end sports cards to their weekly 99-cent starting bid 7-day auctions. Don't have time to sell your own cards? Reach out to Devin and ask about his consignment services. Simply packs them up, ship them out, and Devin will get them listed, sold, and then you get paid. Dev Sports Cards can be found on eBay. They have 4,000 plus positive reviews. You can also find them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Dev Sports Cards is a proud sponsor of the SCSRA series and Intensity Broadcasting. We look back here to the front. Oh, we saw Mather getting a little bit square there. And we are 3 wide right now. We see some drivers running on that third lane. Oh, car harded to the outside wall. And that is, oh no, the third caution of the race is out. I know, when I saw those drivers making it through wide, I said, this is not going to end well. And looks like it didn't. All right, here's a look at what happened here. So here we go. We see Dylan Redding. He makes it 3 wide and looks like he tags the outside wall. Might have pushed up maybe. Tags it again, and this propels him down the track into Todd Mays, and this is going to create the domino effect. We see the 46 gets involved. Stephen Black gets involved. Belk gets involved. Michael White gets involved. Josh Hall looks like is able to narrowly get through. Richard Knight gets involved. See some drivers going all the way down that apron to avoid getting involved. Uh-oh. Does Michael Provolt make it through? Barely. Man. That is definitely unfortunate. And Dylan Redding, he's not on the lead lap. He's 2 laps down, so he was not contending for a position or anything. Looks like he was making it 3 wide, and looks like he just tagged the outside wall there. I mean, that's what happened Daytona. It's a lot narrower compared to Talladega. So it's a lot harder to run 3 wide here compared to Talladega, so did not end up working out well for Dylan there. That's unfortunate, but go in, take a fast repair, and go back out there. Make sure while we're under caution to take this time to share the stream on Facebook and YouTube, as it would be greatly appreciated. Well, I guess it'd be share the stream on Facebook and like the stream on YouTube, because it really helps with the algorithm of both platforms, and it helps give exposure to the league, the drivers, the sponsors, and again, it just helps us out a ton. So make sure to like on YouTube and share on Facebook. It's greatly appreciated. Who knows, you might, if you share it, you might have somebody that didn't know about us and they might actually like our content. One fun place to be is on our Twitter. And we are really, really, really extremely close to 80 followers on there. So make sure to get on Twitter, type in Intensity Broad 1, and visit us on there. We always drop polls and interact with our viewers. Most of them involve in NASCAR. So make sure to go check us out on Twitter. Like, you can't watch our streams on there, but we do, when we go live, Twitch will give you, or not Twitch, Twitter will give you a notification. So if you turn your notifications bell on for our Twitter, you'll get a message every time we go live that says live, and it will provide the links that you can click on to actually see the live stream. So not only do we drop polls and interact with our viewers on there, but we also provide stream links. See, Mike Disher on YouTube says, I can't see, but is Jimmy Johnson racing tonight? Jimmy Johnson is not racing tonight. I don't know if you mean 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson, or I don't know if he drives in another league, but Jimmy Johnson is not in this race. Right, we're getting ready to go back green. Colin Willems restarting on the bottom. Brian Nudie restarting on the top. Right now, your top 4 is all YXU Racing drivers. I know everybody's going to try to get hooked up with each other and try to run away from the rest of the field. And green flag is back out here at Daytona International Speedway. There we see Colin Willems taking off. And looks like that bottom lane is getting a good run with Colin Willems getting a good push from Cody Moore. But watch out, here we see Brian Nudie coming on that outside lane. He's getting a good push from teammate Nick Mather. See Colin Willems, Cody Moore fighting back on that bottom. And we are coming as we cross the line to 15 laps to go. And I believe right now is the time where we begin to see the action ramping up. I think we're going to see a lot more take than give here. This should be a fun last 15 laps. Right now, we see that bottom pretty quick right now with Colin Willems and Cody Moore down there. Colin Willems looking very, very fast right now, actually. Laps to go now. The reason why we get through the first half of this race is to get to the second half of the race, and that is what we are getting to now. It is the most action-packed part of the race. And we see Brian Nudie, Nick Mather getting a good run on that outside lane. But Colin Willems, Cody Moore fighting back on the bottom. Both lanes very, very strong right now. With less than 15 laps to go, let us know in the chat who your prediction is to win. Definitely some drivers that I want to highlight to watch out for. Watch out for your 15th place driver, Logan Hagerman. There you see he's on the outside lane right now. Watch out for the driver who's below him, Eddie Morris. Watch out for the driver who's behind him, Dave Wright. Watch out for the Mays boys, Kyle Mays, who is in 6th, Todd Mays, who is in 10th, Bobby Mays, who is in 7th. All of those drivers, ones to watch here. So right now, looks like Derek Chaput is on that outside lane. He's making it 3 wide, and this is exactly what him and Dylan Redding tried to do last time, and that ended up resulting in a caution with Dylan Redding hitting the outside wall. So we'll see if this works out a little bit better for Chaput. He's actually... okay. Looks like he's making a ton of ground on that outside lane. Really benefiting from that side draft. as we cross the line, it is going to be 10 laps to go here at Daytona International Speedway. And we are side by side still for this lead between Brian Newty and Colin Willems. Both drivers back and forth. Both of them getting great pushes from their teammates. Nick Mather, teammate of Brian Newty. Cody Moore, teammate of Colin Willems. And one thing that I'm continuing to monitor is that third lane right now. Looks like Derek has found a drafting partner. The 35 of Will Witt. Looks like we see Dave Wright going up there as well. Brian Merle Jr. going up there as well. Looks like we're going to have 3 distinct lines coming up here. And looks like we see a wreck has happened. 4th caution of the race is out. Take a look here at the wreckage replay to see what happened. So we are watching Will Witt, and we see him and Derek go to that outside lane. And okay, that is where we want to be watching right there. So let's watch Sylvan and watch where his left side tires are. So we see left side tires on the yellow line, yellow line, yellow line, yellow line. Okay. It looks like they're... It's like Hagerman might have came down on him there. And that's going to send both of them towards the outside wall. And, big wreck. A lot of drivers getting heavy damage. Mark Shaver's getting involved. Brian Merle Jr. just rams into Sylvan there. Man. Hate to see it. Really just a racing deal there. Which is some tight racing between Sylvan and Logan. Hate that it resulted in an incident. Right now, we got less than 10 laps to go. The top 10, all very different. I mean, we got YXU teammates up here. Colin Willems, Brian Newty, Cody Moore, Nick Mather. Then we got the Mays Mafia in the top 10. Kyle Mays, Bobby Mays, Todd Mays. Then we got some drivers that are all alone, just running, trying to get up to the front themselves. That's Devin Butchino, David Hartney, and Stephen Black. Definitely YXU Racing has been the most successful team here tonight. Right now, we see 4 out of their 5 drivers are in the top 5. Colin Willems, Brian Newty, Cody Moore, Nick Mather. Will Witt having a rough race. He is currently in 18th right now. Hopefully Will can make his way back up to the field, but there really isn't going to be a ton of time, so it's going to be hard. One driver who you gotta be keeping an eye out here on this last restart, or this next restart, is going to be Eddie Morris in that 8 car. He is restarting in 11th. Bottom 6th row, I believe. And he's very, very good at these super speedway races. He's been fast all race long. He got caught up into a couple incidents, fell to the back, and has had to work his way back up to the field. And he's just trying everything he can to get back up to the front. I think we will see that 8 machine in the top 5 with 3 laps to go. He will find a way to get up there. Another driver to keep your eye out for is going to be, I'd say probably, of course, Colin Willems. He's restarting in the lead right now, and he's been running pretty well. He's been getting a good push from his teammate Cody Moore. As long as he can stay ahead of the rest of the field and just keep up his momentum, I think we will definitely see him have a good finish. I think if Willems, if he can keep pace, then he will definitely perform well. Pace car is in. And green flag is out here at Daytona International Speedway. Back out again. We got 5 laps to go. Colin Willems is getting a good push from his teammate Cody Moore right now. But watch out for that high side. Brian Nudie, Nick Mather running up there, running well. We'll see what happens here. Looks like that high line fell behind a little bit. I think there might have been some checking up there on that restart. Yeah, that high lane is struggling, and now we see Devin Bucciano making it 3 wide. Those Neon Racing cars just love running that 3rd lane. But none of them have had any success up there. Let's see if that might change. 4 laps to go now. Can Colin Willems keep the lead and secure his victory? Let's see here. We got Brian Nudie, Nick Mather still up there on that high side trying to make something happen. But that high side is just way off pace right now. I don't know if there's been checking up or something like that. Uh-oh, and I spoke too soon. That high side getting a great run on the back stretch. Brian Nudie right there. Nick Mather giving him a good push. Three laps to go now. See Brian Nudie continuing to find some speed on that high side. Oh, we see a car hard into the outside wall. Big wreck. Looks like we're going to have a green-white checkered, folks. 5th caution of the race is out. We'll look here at the wreckage replay to see exactly what happened. I saw cars flipping. I saw cars destroyed. Man. So here's a look at what happened. We were 3 wide between, let's see, Stephen Black, Devin Bucciano, Todd Mays, and that is 3 wide. Never a good situation. Oh, did not mean to do that. We'll rewind that. We'll play it in slow motion. So there you see right here. Looks like Bucciano comes up a little bit And that's going to put Mays into the outside wall. We see Eddie Morse getting involved, Belk getting involved, Shavers getting involved, Chaput getting involved, White getting involved, the 46 of Raposa getting involved, Merle Jr. I want to look at that one more time to see. So, yeah, watch here. He's got, watch those right side tires. Comes up, comes up, comes up, comes up, comes up. But wait, if you look, this was a good angle because you can actually see that there was some net code. There was not any contact between Bucciano and Mays. So we will look here at the right rear. Yeah, there was no contact there, but iRacing registered that there was contact in it. That ended up pushing Mays into the outside wall. Always hate it when there's some netcode situations, because you know that it's out of both drivers' control. So here we go. We are going to have our first attempt at a green-white checkered. And still, your top 4 is all YXU Racing drivers. All trying to... That'd be awesome if we saw 1, 2, 3, 4 all from the same team. Can't count out the Mays boys, though. I know one of them just got into a bad incident, but still, we see Kyle Mays, Bobby Mays. Both of them still up there, and Kyle Mays and Bobby Mays are going to be starting directly. One is going to be starting directly in front of the other. Also, watch out for the Cyclone drivers, Jeffrey Belk and Stephen Black. But they're running 9th and 10th right now, but there's a chance that those Cyclone drivers can work together and get up into the top 5. All right, here we go. Lights on the pace car are off. We are getting ready to go back green here. Colin Willems restarting on the bottom. Brian Nudie restarting on the top. Cody Moore is going to be behind Nick Mather. And Nick Mather's going to be behind Brian Nudie. Here we go. This is why we race here, is to get to this part right here. The green-white checkered, 3 laps to go. Race is on the line. Here we go. We have 20 cars on the lead lap. All 20 of them have a chance to win just because of the unpredictableness of these super speedway races. We have 21 cars out on track altogether, including lap cars. 22 actually. So this is going to be an awesome finish. There we go. We got 20th place catching up to the rest of the field. Here we go. We got 20 fast Xfinity cars getting ready for the green-white checkered. Pace car is in. And green flag is back out here at Daytona International Speedway. There we see Colin Willems taking off. Brian Nudie gets a good restart as well. We see Brian Nudie and Nick Mather trying to get a good run on that outside lane. Both of them are hooked up. We see Cody Moore, Colin Willems hooked up with each other on the bottom. We see right now Colin Willems, that high side starting to fall behind a little bit. They cannot afford that here with 2 laps to go. Here we see Brian Newty coming back on the outside, trying to have one last push before the final lap. And here we go, coming off of turn number 4, getting right across the start-finish line. Final lap is out. Will Colin Willems be able to hang on to the lead? Right now he has the nose over Newty. They're pretty much side by side. We see Brian Newty getting a good run on the outside, getting a good push from Nick Mather. We see David Hartney making it 3 wide right now. That third lane might come into play here. Brian Newty right there, him and Nick Mather trying to get up there. We got cars on the apron. Here we go through 3 and 4 right now. Colin Willems is looking pretty good. If Cody Moore can just keep it up, Colin Willems is going to win the season opener. We see a lot of moving around. Willems goes to the high side, and he will. Oh, here comes Cody Moore on the bottom. And there we go. We see a big wreck. And Colin Willems will win the season opener at Daytona. What a race for that 17 machine. See, Cody Moore ends up finishing second in a photo finish. Brian Newty finishes third. 1, 2, 3 is YXU Racing teammates. It is definitely a good day for YXU Racing fans and drivers here tonight. Colin Willems with a torn up Xfinity car. Looks like he's still going to try to do a burnout. He is burning it down. That is a terrible view. There we go. Colin Willems happy right now. He has just won the season opener of the SCSRA National Series. Here comes Cody Moore, lining up right beside his teammate. Brian Newty lining up right beside his 2 teammates as well. That's a good picture right there. And now we are getting set for the driver interviews. There we go. We got all 3 of your top 3 finishers in the waiting room. We'll go ahead and pull them in. Start off by pulling in your 3rd place finisher from Santa Rosa, California. It's Brian Newty. Brian, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Hello?
You got me? Brian, you got me? Brian?
Atlee, you there?
Brian, you got me?
I got you, buddy.
Awesome. Well, looks like I was having some mic troubles, but got you in the booth now. Looks like he ended up getting that 3rd place finish, and what a race you had. I know we really didn't say your name too much in the beginning, but after the halfway point, we saw you and the rest of your teammates were able to get out front, and you were running on that high side for most of the race, getting pushes from Nick Mather, trying to get by Willems and Moore on the bottom. And on that finish there, we saw you drop back a little bit. You couldn't quite get by Willems there. And we saw it was really dicey there, coming off of 4. And it was a photo finish between you, Cody, and Colin, and you ended up finishing 3rd. But it's awesome to see that, you and two of your teammates were able to get the top 3 for the season opener. I mean, how does it feel?
It feels awesome. Tonight was a blast. We were able to get all up front, the 4 of us, and we kind of dictate the whole pace of the race and everything. And once we were able to just get out there and keep pace, our pace was just on point, and nobody's pace could outbeat our pace.
That's right. It seems like your pace was a lot pacier than the rest of the drivers' paces. But I know we saw that caution flag came out, and there was that first caution flag came out, and that changed everything because pretty much the whole field came in, and it looked like. So did everybody on YXU? Were they able to make it for the rest of the race after that pit stop, or did we see any more pit stops?
No, that was it. We were able to make it from there. We knew if we saved fuel, just saved not much, just enough. We were going to be good to go. As long as there was no green, white checkers, but there was enough cautions kind of sprinkled throughout there that we were good to go. We could have even done one more green, white checkered if we needed to.
Gotcha. Well, before we let you go, Nudie, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Oh, yeah, I got to give a shout-out to everybody at all my teammates at YXU. Awesome job for everybody. Cody Moore, Colin Willems, all of us in top 3. And then, unfortunately, Nick Mather fell just a little bit short, but he still got top 5, so that's awesome. And then Will, he had a little bit of a bad run, but he was up there, and it was a good race for all of us, all in all. I got to thank my beautiful wife for letting me do this. You guys up in the booth, you do an awesome job. And as always, I got to thank Gil's Dump Truck Service and Pizzeria, the fastest dump trucks in the Northwest.
Well, again, congratulations on the podium finish here tonight, Nudie. Have a great rest of your night.
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. All right, let's now pull in your second place finisher from Cincinnati, Ohio. It's Cody Moore. Cody, this is Atlee in the broadcasting room. Do you have a copy?
Atlee, I got you, buddy.
Awesome. Well, what a great race for you tonight. First of all, you were the biggest mover of the race. You gained 17 spots after the green flag dropped after starting in 19th. And you ended up finishing second, so that, it's 17 spots. It's very impressive. But in the beginning, we really didn't say your name too much. But then, after after we saw that first caution flag came out and the whole field got grouped back together, looks like we saw the top 4 was all YXU, Nick Mather, Brian Nudie, you, Colin. And after that, all 4 of y'all really just controlled the rest of the field. I mean, we saw you pushing Colin on the bottom, and then we saw Nudie and Mather on the top. And coming to that finish there, coming off of 4, I know we saw that you tried to get under Colin there for the win. You tried to get by him, and it was a really, really close finish at first. I thought you might have had it, but it was 0.02 of a second separating you and Colin. Colin ended up getting you by just a little bit, but still, great performance with the runner-up finishing. You gained 17 spots after the green flag dropped. I mean, what was your take on this race?
Yeah, it went about like you said. I was really, really surprised when I was able to clear Pacino on that restart. He kind of got hung out with nobody behind him, and once we were kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, we decided to control both lanes. And yeah, I apologize to the pack. That had to have been brutal because I know we were making big checkups and stuff, but that was our plan, to ride it out. And Colin ended up trying to block Nudie, and I thought I might have had one there, but I'm glad that Colin got the win. And I'll take a 1, 2, 3 anytime.
I know it's always so cool when you see teammates finish 1, 2, 3, whether it's in NASCAR or here on iRacing. I mean, how excited were y'all in that in the channel when y'all got 1, 2, 3?
Oh, we were psyched. We were shocked that we were able to keep it that long. Kyle Mays was pushing. I appreciate him being patient there, because that had been hard riding behind us. But yeah, the teamwork on YXU it's something special. We kind of go to the last lap and then yeah, it's just good teamwork.
Now, before we let you go, Cody, is there any sponsors or shout outs?
No. Well, of course, Grandma Hagerman, Dustin Dean sucks. Atlee, you're the man. My teammates at YXU Racing, the 15 for trying to take out the entire field. Appreciate it. I don't have a sponsor on my car, so if anyone wants to make me a paint, I'll put it on the car, barring my lawyer's review. But I'll have my people call your people. Shout out to the Bot Squad, Eddie Morris, Josh Hall, the Wright brothers. I don't know. I'm forgetting people, but you're the man, Atlee. That's all that matters.
Just look at all the voice channels and just read everybody's name. Again, great race tonight, and you always perform well in these races. I'm expecting a championship this season.
We'll see. I appreciate it, Allie.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations, second place. Have a great rest of your night, Cody.
Thanks, man.
Yep. And now let's pull in your winner from London, Ontario, Canada. It is Colin Willems. Colin, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, Atlee.
Awesome. Well, what a great race for you tonight. I know you started in the top 3, and you were running there for a lot of the race, running with Devin and Eddie and Logan, and eventually we saw after that first caution, everybody came in on the restart. All the YXU drivers were able to get by Devin, and eventually it was 1, 2, 3, 4 all YXU drivers. All 4 of y'all were controlling both lanes, and y'all just pretty much controlling the entire field. And it was pretty much like that until that final lap when coming off of turn number 4, we saw Cody and Brian tried to get by you. Brian went to the high side of you. Cody went below you, and it was 3 wide as we crossed the line. You were able to inch everybody out. It ended up being 0.02 of a second separating you and Cody, so that was very, very close finish. I mean, what was your take on tonight's events?
Yeah, it was a really fun race. I got to give a shout out to Eddie Morris for that qualifying time, though. That was insane. Really fast. Yeah, I know the racing, the first half of the race, there was a lot of shuffling around. I felt like I had a different car in front or behind me for about the first half of the race. And then, like you said, after that pit stop cycle, it worked out to have four YXU cars up front, which made it, pretty easy to stay up there. Daytona's not, as popular hosting a 3 wide battle as Talladega is. So we felt pretty confident up there. And, amongst ourselves, we just said, once the white flag drops, we're not teammates anymore. Do what you got to do to get the win. And luckily, we were all able to keep it clean and finish. I think 4 of us got in the top 5, so that was awesome.
I know a lot of times when you're the leader with 1 lap to go, a lot of times that leader does not stay the leader, but you were able to hold off Cody and Brian. I mean, what was going through your head, and I mean, what were you thinking that whole last lap and just trying to hold off everybody off?
Well, on the last few laps, I had noticed I was getting out of 4 better than Nudie. I don't know if Nick wasn't pushing Brian as good or Cody was just giving me a good push, but I felt really strong out of 4. So my plan coming out of 4 on the last lap was if I'm able to clear Nudie, I'm going to, because he's going to have a bit of a run on the high side. I knew Cody would be coming, so it would. I knew either way, we were going to get the top 3 if I did that. So I figured it was the safest bet. Plus, it would kind of shut down any 3 wide action that might have come up out of 4 as well.
And now, before we let you go, is there any sponsors or shout-outs you'd like to thank for your win?
I got to thank my beautiful wife, Cassie, for letting me do this. I got to thank everybody at YXU tonight. Cody Moore, Brian Nudie, Nick Mather, running that really tight up front. Got to throw it out to Will Witt. I know he had some tough luck tonight, but was still there cheering us on. So big thanks to everybody there. Big thank you to you up in the booth for calling this race. Sorry, everybody else in the league. I mean, that was a really fun race. So hopefully we can keep it this exciting all year for you.
Yeah, this was definitely an exciting race. Definitely a great way to start off the season. And again, just congratulations on picking up the victory. And hopefully we might see a couple more this season.
Hey, fingers crossed.
All right. Have a great rest of your night, Colin.
Yeah, you too, Allie.
Thank you. Well, that is going to do it for tonight's events. Thank you for everyone who tuned in to watch the broadcast. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as it would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,500 followers on Facebook and 1,000 subscribers on Twitch and YouTube. Make sure to visit our Twitter, Intensity Broad 1. We like to drop polls, and you can get notified when we go live on there, so look it up, Intensity Broad 1. And also make sure to visit our merchandise store, intensitybroadcasting.com. There you can find shirts, hats, mouse pads, mugs, stickers, photo paper, posters, and so much more from your favorite broadcaster in all the amazing leagues that we broadcast. And I think that's going to do it. I'm Atlee Atman-Leeson on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Over and out.